Housing Development Progress. Number one and the best. Housing Development Progress. Number one. Number one. Housing Development Progress. Number one and the best. Housing Development Progress. Number one. Housing Development Progress. In Nigeria. Housing Development Progress. In Africa. Housing Development Program and the globe. Number one, Housing Development Program.
This is your go-to source for anything and everything that's got to do with housing in Nigeria and beyond. This is Housing Development, and I am your housing diva, Fleur Ani. Among the many problems hitting the Nigerian populace, shelter happens to be a more challenging one. At over 21 million in deficit and millions homeless, housing issue in Nigeria has assumed an alarming one. Right after the trending news, we shall be discussing the housing we need. What does data tell us, as deliberated by stakeholders at the just concluded Africa International Housing Show?
The Lagos State government has provided explanations for revoking permits for ongoing construction projects across the state. Officials state that the move is to enforce stringent safety standards in the building sector. This decision comes in the wake of a tragic building collapse in the Maryland area, which resulted in the deaths of 5 construction workers and injuries to several others. Special advisor to the governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, on EGs and urban development, Olajide Babatunde, shared these details during a visit to the collapse site, accompanied by Bolan Oki, General Manager of the Lagos State Building Control Agency, LABSCA. Following previous unsuccessful attempts, a new policy shift is on the horizon to stabilize the country's real estate sector. The proposed measures include creating a national mortgage register with verifiable titles and encouraging state governments to implement essential administrative and operational reforms. Key proposals involve adopting the Model Mortgage and Foreclosure Law (MMFL) across all states and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT). Additionally, there are plans to enhance and standardize the Land Use Act through policy adjustments without altering the law itself. Minister of Housing and Urban Development Ahmed Dangiwa has revealed that the ministry could return up to 300 billion naira to the government within 2 years from the sale of houses, given a budget allocation of 500 billion naira. Speaking in Abuja during a Senate committee oversight visit, Dangiwa announced that 1,000 housing units under the Renewed Hope Cities initiative are set for completion by the end of 2024. He added that additional units are scheduled for delivery by mid-next year for commissioning by President Bola Tinubu in the pilot phase of the project in Karsana, Abuja.
Housing sector. For more housing news update, visit www.africanhousingnews.com. Major players in the real estate and finance sector at the just concluded Africa International Housing Show deliberated on the topic, financing the housing we need, and the critical question, what does data tell us? Take a listen.
Conversations centered on housing delivery in Nigeria and Africa have over the years been a major challenge in actualizing affordable housing for all. Data collection and analysis are yet to define the true picture of the housing deficit in Nigeria and Africa. An engaging and insightful plenary session was held on day 2 of the Africa International Housing Show with experienced speakers on the importance of accurate data collection and analysis in achieving housing adequacy.
The issue of data is critical to achieving housing adequacy. But we know that most of the data being bandied about are all estimates. In fact, today when the minister was speaking during the opening ceremony, I recall he talked about 540,000 houses being required to beat out annually, being required to meet our housing need. But earlier, someone who spoke earlier on quoted a UN report, UN Habitat, that said 700,000 units. Same day with the minister available, you could see the divergence. If you look at the issue of the housing deficit, it ranges from 17 million to 22 million, depending on who you're talking to. In fact, some people actually believe that no deficit exists. A minister actually said he didn't know where deficits were coming from. I mean, so we have an issue of data, and the challenge is how do we deal with it? The problem is that the government, through their censors or MBS, have not done enough to provide the accurate data for people to use. But I must say that professional bodies have also failed in that area, even though it costs a lot of money, and therefore you really can't blame the private sector. But so much can be done for us to get the right data. As a company, my own firm, Obosi Alliance, we've gone out to source data directly because we feel that data is important to the work we do. We do valuations for a lot of banks, and we feel that a major component of every valuation report is a sort of data. Once the data point is wrong, the report will be wrong. With regards to whether affordable housing or for the middle class or low-income earners, you equally require data with regards to where to invest.
The DG, National Population Commission, Ojogun Telson Osifo, spoke on the Commission's role in providing verifiable and credible data in order to solve the housing deficit in Nigeria.
In National Population Commission, we have a level of data which you can now access. That data took into cognizance every building in every mapped locality, and almost all the localities were mapped, apart from 0.06%. We mapped the buildings, we took their geo codes, geo position, and their uses. So if you really want to do further analysis, it is available. We have used the word collaboration. Essentially, maybe 2-3 days ago, we decided at the commission level that yes, we are going to put out that data before it becomes stale. So you have that aspect of it.
Shedding more light on accurate data collection in achieving housing adequacy, Audu Olokbo, representing the CEO of Bureau of Statistics, proposed a strategic approach to possible steps to take in achieving the collection and analysis of accurate data in the housing sector.
We have this problem in Nigeria whereby we don't really have the data as we should have, and definitely the intentions have been there to get it done. I mean, in 2021 there was a pilot study in collaboration with the CBN, National Population Commission, and the Ministry of Power, Works and Housing. But unfortunately, of course, only 6 states were piloted and we couldn't move forward. Right now, we are also in conversations with the Nigerian mortgage refinance company on conducting something similar in terms of, so we can have an idea of the kind of houses we have in Nigeria. Of course, we'll leverage on the information that is provided by the Population Commission because they are responsible for housing census. And as I said, now because they have geo codes of houses, but of course, how do you define those houses by usage and all whatnot? All this information is very, very important. So in collaboration with a lot of agencies of government, we should be able to do what we need to do, to be able to provide data for everybody, to be able to do the kind of plan you need to plan for the kind of housing you want to do.
It's good news. Are you a stakeholder in the built environment, or you are looking for an authentic, credible source for housing and construction news in Africa? You now have an opportunity. Africa International Housing Show has now created a unique opportunity for you by establishing a full-fledged housing television, the first of its kind in Africa. You can now access information on home ownership, rental, building materials, finance, real estate and insurance, among others, all on Housing TV Africa, channel 149 on StarTimes.
For a fact, we know that there is a housing deficit in the country, and this housing deficit is multidimensional. The need for proper data collection cannot be overemphasized, as an accurate data is needed to guide policymakers on the type of social houses to be built in reducing the pressure on the housing sector. I will be back. Stay with Housing Development.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Huh? What is it again?
Oga, and they drive this car, my mind no dey. My landlord is on my neck.
Your landlord again? I thought I have told you this before. Get a mortgage, register with NHF scheme, and get a home up front. What is so difficult about this?
Oga, I will do just that. See, I will shame that my landlord. Mortgage.
At the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, everyone deserves a home.
You're watching Housing Development. Affordable housing can be a huge boost to local economies, both in the short and long term. Housing and economic development, how related are they? Let's hear from an economist, Dr. Abiodun Adedipe.
Talking about relationship between housing and economy. Now, the connection between housing and economic growth and development is exemplified in a statement I came across in the publication of the African Development Bank, published in January 2023. And it says, investment in housing creates an important and strategic opportunity to change the narrative and drive growth domestically in Africa and also from within. That means it's not a matter of looking outside of Africa for funding or the ideas, but they are all in here, but they are not connected. A good number of the ideas are in silos. And I'll give an illustration. Now there's a project, I won't say it failed, but it is yet to be delivered. But now that project is situated in Nigeria, although relating to logistics, funding sourced from UK and US, and then the risk involved in that insured in South Africa, and the project is somewhere here in Nigeria. So, but the question is, if funding comes from extra Africa, so to say, and insurance is in Africa, and the project itself is in Nigeria, that means there is a possibility that ultimately the project might not see the light of the day because it is beyond Africa. They don't have a full understanding of the peculiarities of our market. Now, the strategic place of real estate, housing in particular, in an economy should ordinarily make government functionaries to seek always to remove the obstacles to housing development. Let me say a few things here. Our chairman made reference to data earlier on, and I'm sure we still have cause to deal with that. But when you look at data relating to Africa, number one, Africa is the second most populated continent in the world, and that is after Asia. But there's a peculiarity to the population of Africa. In the last 5.5 years, between 2018 and June 2024, that population has grown by about 500 million. That's one. Now, the World Bank says it is actually growing at the rate of 100 million annually. But that is not the real issue here. In the last 6 to 7 years, the dynamics of population in Africa has responded to climate change and security challenges, where there's now intensified rural-urban migration. That again is estimated at between 70 and 110 million people annually living where they are for urban areas. Now, what does that result into? Yes, generally, we say that will intensify the demand for housing in urban areas, but that is not the real issue for me. The real issue is that people move to the urban areas and they end up in slums, okay? And then at some point they begin to consider what life was like where they came from.
Hi, I'm Bob Weinsheng, CEO of iBuild Global. Keep watching the Housing Development Program.
We don't have road, and you see at times if it is raining, you will see a lot of people will go by the roadside. They'll be thrown dirt on the main road. We also doesn't have toilet. You will see a toilet, you will see up to 30 tenants, they are using one. You can't leave your door open, go and buy something. Before you will know, Babambola will enter. By the time you will take them to police station, 1 hour is too much, the police people will release them. In fact, we don't know what is happening.
This is the situation with many citizens in not just Nigeria. Are we ready for this conversation? What is the plight of an average Nigerian citizen in regards to housing? Housing is a fundamental human right, and these issues must be addressed.
Dr. Abiodun Adedipe there analyzing housing and economic development. The 2024 Africa International Housing Show 6-day event has ended, but the memory will surely linger in the minds of many local and international participants. Now here are some exhibitors that attended the show.
My name is Ihanacho Gospa Ihainchuku, Sales Officer Dangote Cement PLC. My experience in this Africa International Housing Show is top-notch. I sincerely want to begin by saying a thank you to the organizers of this event. Indeed, it's a very wonderful one. It's an experience, and it's good, of course, that people are really knowing and getting information about housing and how to get funds and the product they have been using over time. It has given us the opportunity to also tell them the best applications for this product. So for me, it's a very beautiful experience.
Architect Ifeanyi Nzekwe, the head of Technical Think Lab. It's been a wonderful experience. We have made contacts. We have gotten a lot of contacts from this show. It's been a wonderful experience liaising and interacting with different customers from the housing, from our energy section, from our agro-allies section, from our digital section. It's been a wonderful experience. This is since the organizer of this show has been so great, because it is an improvement compared to what we have last year. It seems that as the year, this is the 18th African International Housing Show, and this is the best compared to what we had before.
Hello, my name is Mariam Usman. I'm a digital marketer at Constrix Real Estate Development Limited. It has, because we've been able to meet different marketers, real estate agents, and also clients that are interested in our properties. We've been able to raise awareness. People now know more about the brand, and with our new project, Creed by Constrix at Umbora, we've been able to also spread awareness about the project, and we have a couple of people interested, and I know with time the word is going to spread more.
So my name is Hawa Mukhtar, and I'm the team lead sales and marketing. Well, coming to African Housing Show for the past year has actually contributed a lot to our business, because we tend to have a lot of leads and prospects from them, and which of these some of them turn into clients. And yeah, so our experience with African Housing Show has really been a good one, because we generate a whole lot of sales from it.
My name is Chidima Kadiri, and I lead strategy at the Nigeria Mortgage Refinance Company. See, our stand has been busy all of these days. It's really interesting and refreshing to know that every Nigerian is actually interested in achieving a good level of security by owning a home. So in terms of how it has impacted us, we've been here receiving people hearing from them. They are asking questions. They want to understand how we can partner with them. We've been able to answer their questions and point them in the right direction towards actualizing their dream of owning a home.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Joseph Oyabe, the Group Head Corporate Communications of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. The show has impacted in so many ways, but let me just talk of one way that stands out in a special way, and that is the visibility. This show has created national visibility, and let me even extend to say global visibility to the organizations that took part in this show, and especially the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, because the bank has been able to identify other organizations that the bank can collaborate with or partner with, looking at the various products and services that they offer that can take the mortgage industry in Nigeria to a higher level.
My name is Confidence Otokine and I work with Brains and Hammers. This event has been quite a great one for us this year. It's been great having to interact with a number of clients, prospective clients, I beg your pardon, and just talk to them and get to introduce yourself to the company. We've had quite a number of people working here, delegates as well as HNIs actually come here and patronize our brand Brains and Hammers. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to rate it 8 this year.
As the saying goes, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. You know, without time off work, a person becomes both bored and boring. Well, the organizers of the African International Housing Show ended the 2024 AIHS with an award and dinner night. Here are the sights and sounds. Enjoy.
It was a night of glitz and glamour at the biggest and best of AIHS Dinner 2024, as laudable personalities in the housing and financial sector, president of professional bodies in the construction industry, advocates, commissioners, and a host of others came together to unwind and celebrate the successful end of the biggest housing show in Africa. This edition was tagged the 18th in the series and saw notable key players in the housing sector being awarded for their significant contribution towards the advancement and prosperity of the housing industry in Nigeria and across Africa. Amongst the awardees who were recognized at the dinner, Family Homes Fund was awarded the best in providing innovative housing finance solutions. Dangote Cement was recognized for its exceptional leadership in the housing sector. In the construction industry, CDK Integrated Industries Limited clinched the award for its introduction of groundbreaking technology in the housing sector.
Excellence in Housing Finance. And this award goes to no other but, can you guess? Family Homes Funds Limited. Put your hands together for them, ladies and gentlemen. The Industry Leadership Award. And the winner is Dangote Cement. Put your hands together for them. There is no doubt that they are the leaders in the Ladies and gentlemen, the next award is for Excellence in Innovation. The Excellence in Innovation Award. And the winner is CDK Integrated Industries Limited. Put your hands together for them. CDK Integrated Industries Limited. Another round of applause for them, ladies and gentlemen. CDK Integrated Industries Limited.
In the real estate sector, acknowledging innovation and partnership, Modern Shelter Systems and Services was awarded the Public-Private Partnership Award and the Most Innovative Booth Design. Professor Olugbenga Timothy Nubi was recognized as the Housing Advocacy Personality of the Year, amongst others.
Let's welcome Professor Timothy Nubi. Please put your hands together for him. Housing Advocacy Person of the Year. Housing Advocacy Person of the Year. Congratulations, sir. Well deserved.
The coordinator and convener of Africa International Housing Show, Festus Adebayo, emphasized the significance of acknowledging dedication and excellence. He expressed the importance of coming together to celebrate and share moments after a successful one-week housing conference.
The focus of AHS 2024 have to do with financing the housing we need. We chose that topic, having observed the majority of the people that really need the houses don't have the affordability for their valuable houses. So how do we address this problem? And therefore, we decided to use this platform that brought together experts from different countries in Africa, from international agencies, the World Bank, the IFC, the African Development Bank, the Shelter Africa, to look into what is the way forward to finance the housing we need. On that note, we have to look at the issue of data. Nigeria does not have data. But all that we know is that there's a problem of housing.
Guests were thrilled and excited as the night was filled with laughter, dance, and merriment.
Congratulations to all the awardees of Africa International Housing Show 2024. On that note is a wrap on today's episode of Housing Development. Thanks for watching. Keep it day, same time next week. I remain Flora Oni, your housing diva. Do have a lovely day.